Welcome to the podcast. I'm Wolf, he's Hawk, and today we're going to be talking about the trade deadline. And before we start, I'll pass it over to Hawk to talk about some NHL news.
Alrighty, breaking it down. Today, there was some trades that happened in the NHL that saw Gustav Nyquist go from Nashville to Minnesota for a second-round pick as Nashville retains 50% of his salary, which is very interesting. And also, Colorado acquire Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey, in return for a second-round pick, I think, and a seventh-round pick with Calvin DeHaan and UC Parsonen. Parsos? I don't really know how to say his last name. It's UC Parsonen or something, I think. But he's a young, tall center. What do you think, Wolfie, about these deals just before the deadline? About a week till the deadline. Do you think these are setting the pace, maybe?
Well, for Minnesota, I think it will be setting the pace. I think more deals like this will come for Minnesota. I think they got a great deal on it. Gustav Nyquist.
Oh, they did give up a second,
Yeah.
but they're not paying most of his salary.
Yeah.
And he's a very talented forward.
Yeah, and also the second round pick won't even be that high because.
Well, it might be. Well, no, it won't be because it's from Minnesota. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it won't even be a very effect. I think it's a good deal for
Yeah.
Minnesota. Then moving over to the other one, I feel like Colorado.
Ryan Lindgren's a solid defenseman.
I feel like Colorado. I think Colorado made the right play here.
And Jimmy Vesey can put up good.
They gave up.
Bottom six.
Yeah, they gave up some picks. I think one of the guys is getting paid by the Rangers 50% of the salary, and no disrespect to Husi Parsonen and Calvin DeHaan, but that Jimmy Vesey and Ryan Lindgren I'd much rather have on my team.
Like Jimmy Vesey, he can put up solid bottom 6 minutes, and then you got.
And even if he isn't,
you got Charlie Lindgren.
Ryan Lindgren or Charlie Lindgren? Ryan Lindgren. Yeah.
And he's a very solid defenseman.
Yeah.
Like really help
And this really strengthens their core. Their defense is Devon Taves, Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Josh Manson, and there's one other, and now Ryan Lindgren. So I think very good deals for Colorado and for Minnesota. Nashville makes sense. This is a rough year for them. They need to get some picks that maybe they can swap to try to build some stuff up, but I think they will make more moves at this deadline. And the Rangers, I'm sure, will. I have a few players I'm going to ask you about today. That's the point of this video. I'm going to bring up some players who are on the block. Wolfie is going to discuss where he believes they're going to go and why, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Starting off with Brock Nelson and the New York Islanders. I do not think he's going to get moved.
Neither do I.
But he has been around a lot of rumors. I just don't think he's appealing to many teams. I think the Islanders want to trade him, but I don't think anyone else really wants him.
I don't think his play style, it can fit in a lot of places, but I don't think that they're going to trade him. I don't think any teams actually need a piece like him.
And even if they did, I don't think an older Brock Nelson is very appealing to many teams. But who knows? These are just our takes. Next person I'm going to ask you about. I don't think he'll move because I don't think anyone wants him. John Gibson. I was thinking maybe they'll move him because they did just bring in Ville Husso. They have Lucas Dostal. But I don't think anyone will trade for John Gibson.
Before we even get into the trading part, who needs a goalie?
Edmonton could if their goalies keep letting them down.
Yeah, but every goalie that goes there sucks.
The Canucks, I don't think the Canucks, they do need a new superstar goalie, but they have locked up Lincoln, so they don't need one. Because that's the thing, most teams have a goalie, and the ones that don't are just not. Utah, Ingram, Vamelka are good, but they would always use a piece.
Yeah, Gibson would fit in there, I think.
Yeah. Minnesota will need a new backup goalie when Fleury retires at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that's a good move for them. If they want.
Minnesota get Gibson?
Yeah.
You think that's where he's going to go if he goes anywhere?
If he moved, that would be. I don't think he's going to go there, but that'd be a great move.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I just don't. Well, but or should Minnesota invest in someone younger who might be on the block? I've heard I don't think this will happen. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, someone like that, a younger goalie who could move.
Yeah. Also, Buffalo needs a better goalie at the
Well,
moment.
Buffalo needs a lot of things, but we'll get to them.
The
in a
goalie
moment.
could be the starting point.
Yeah, good starting point. All right, another player who's on the block. This one I just want you to kind of free ball because he's not a big superstar. Carson Soucy, because I know we love to follow the Canucks, so we know he's probably gonna move somewhere. And honestly, he hasn't been amazing. But who do you think will take him? Because there's a lot of teams out there who could use a solid defenseman with some experience. Who can fight?
Maybe Utah.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. Utah
They don't
needs a
have
lot of things, but they are kind of in the playoff
They don't
race, so it
have
could make
they
sense.
don't have a defensive core that's like sustainable.
The only reason I wouldn't say that I'm going to say, try to say, because the Canucks know Utah could catch them in the playoff race, so I don't know if they'd trade someone to Utah. But for me, Soucy, I could see him going to Philly, Pittsburgh. The Canucks have got really good relations with Pittsburgh. And maybe the Rangers. They got rid of Lindgren. Soucy's a serious downgrade, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right, next player.
Bad move.
Brock Besser. I'll start with this one. This is a tough one because his form has not been amazing, which makes me think the Canucks should trade him. But at the same time, he has more leeway, than Pettersson, which is who I will get to. If he does go somewhere, it'll be an American team in the Eastern Conference, like Washington. Or someone who needs a big step-up star.
He would fit in Washington really well.
But the thing is, he's
Dalton
always
Hyman.
been around the rumors. That's why I don't think he'll get moved. Brock Besser has always been talked about getting moved. Every deadline it seems, Canucks should trade Besser.
And if Besser,
I just don't think it's going to happen.
If Besser is gonna move, it's not on the trade deadline. It's gonna be in free agency.
Yeah, because his contract expires this year, next year? Very soon. It
Yeah,
expires soon. It expires soon.
And
Right.
that's when he'll probably move.
Next word. This is an interesting one for me. Bowen Byram, guy from around here where we live. He's an amazing guy. I got to meet him when he won a Stanley Cup and brought it back. You were littler.
Fun for me. Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to go Byram.
Bowen Byram. Where do you think he's gonna go? He's on Buffalo. Like we were saying, Buffalo is interesting because they most of their guys are young, but they're playing so badly that they have to make some trades. Byram's one of the guys I think they will. Because they have power, they have Dahlin. I don't think they're as committed to keeping Byram as they are their other defensemen.
I mean,
Where do you think he'll go?
I would love to see a Carson Soucy for Byram trade. That'd be great.
Wolfie's mock trades are unreal.
That's possible.
I guess.
Maybe like a pick from like the Canucks.
Yeah, and if we sent Besser in a package deal, get
Oh,
Cousins.
Cousins.
But the point, okay, so where do you think he'll go? Who do you think needs him? I could see, only because I could see him going to Chicago, only because Chicago is looking to trade Seth Jones, who I'll get into next.
I could also see him going to Washington.
I guess, just who do Washington have to give up for a young defenseman?
I'm not really sure about that, but I'm sure they have something that they don't need.
Yeah, they have to have some. Yeah, okay, so, all right, I'll get into Seth Jones now, who is going to leave, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's asked out of Chicago.
He probably
The teams I have been hearing that are like linked with him are the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton needs a guy like Seth Jones.
Edmonton has his
I don't think they have enough to pull off a deal for Seth Jones, but it would be interesting to see.
Fun fact, Edmonton had Seth Jones' brother a couple years ago.
All right, Caleb.
Yeah.
They met in that bubble playoff series.
Yeah, he was
Nice. But okay, so because if he goes to Dallas, that'll be unfair. Dallas will be stacked. And Dallas have a lot to give up. They have a lot of depth.
They really do.
But who else do you think could potentially make a move for the aging but still very effective defenseman?
I think like the Rangers could really use him.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rangers on here we'll get to who could be part of a deal for Seth Jones, especially if it gets to the point where he's like, yes, I want to leave Chicago, let me leave. If they have to settle for something that's not maybe work, because he has been really bad in the last 2 years. He hasn't been amazing. but he still is a good defenseman. It was shown when he played in Columbus. So I think he'll be part of one of the bigger deals this trade deadline.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Next player I'm going to bring up for you, Ryan Donato. Just not a big one.
Yeah.
He could be part of Seth Jones leaving Chicago, I think,
Yeah.
because I know he wants out. He's had a decent season.
He's also a player that can play like solid bottom 6 or top 9 like forward minutes. Like
Yeah, and he
a
is.
lot of teams could use a player like him.
Yes, that is another, like, if they can put him with Seth Jones, Chicago doesn't need to get a haul of players. They know they're in a rebuild. But a team, I feel like, could pull off a steal, especially if Seth Jones wants out, and part of it is getting Ryan Donato. I feel like a team like the Rangers. I really like that you said that, because I think that could happen. Seth Jones and Donato part of a deal to the Big Apple.
That's a very realistic and relatable like trade that could probably happen.
Another player who has been brought up in numerous rumors. I don't think he'll leave, but JT Miller, there's been talks about him leaving. Apparently, I don't know if this is when he was with the Canucks or with the Rangers this year, but this year at one point there was a trade involving him and Colorado, and he said no, he doesn't want to go play there. So that could have been with the Canucks or with the Rangers. I think it's probably more likely with the Rangers, considering what happened down today. But also maybe the Canucks. Maybe we were on the verge of getting Rantanen.
Another deal that could have happened, could have ended up being, that can still happen, is Miller to Chicago for Seth Jones and Donato, and maybe pick off the Rangers.
Yeah, although I don't know if Miller would want to go to Chicago. Like, if he has the power that he's saying no to a team like Colorado, he probably knows that he wants to stay in New York. That one I just wanted to throw in there just to add a little spice. Next one, not another big one, but Riley Smith in New York. He is who I'm thinking could be part of a deal. Because I know the Rangers aren't going to be done at this deadline. They're going to make another move that affects not as much as some big moves, but could be really effective. And I think Riley Smith will be part of it. I think he'll be the second big player coming out of New York in a deal somewhere else, maybe with Chris Kreider. Lots of talk about him leaving. He hasn't been amazing this year, but that we've learned that doesn't matter in trades.
Yeah.
So Riley Smith,
Chris Kreider, they both are pushing up in age.
yeah.
And they both are still very effective, I think.
Yet another reason why Chicago could pick him up is having something like
experience.
We're gonna put out here. I got something. We're gonna put out a post with a few mock trades just after this video comes out that we've come up with. Mock trades, just like what we think could happen. And I'm gonna tell you what, one of them will be a Chicago and New York trade involving Riley Smith, Seth Jones, and Ryan Donato.
Yeah.
I will. All right, next person I want you to talk about, Mikko Rantanen. It's an interesting one because he did just get moved, but it's almost confirmed that I'm 99% sure Carolina cannot afford to pay a contract he wants. Where do you think he's going to go?
A trade that is a lot of rumors are Elias Pettersson, the forward, for Mikko Rantanen.
EP40.
There have been a lot of rumors around that trade. I do not think it will happen.
Me neither. I don't think the Canucks have the strength to do that.
There's also been a lot of rumors about it, though. I'm going to bring that up there.
Yeah. So I think Carolina will make a move with him. Only because they're going to it was just like last year when they got Gensel. And everyone knew they were getting better, but everyone knew they couldn't afford to pay Gensel in the summer. And they chose not to make a move. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think they're going to choose to move Rantanen for someone who's already on a contract they can afford. And, yeah, I think Rantanen will move.
Yeah, really.
I don't think, because I think they do want to get something, or at least I think they will propose trades with him. I don't know if they will happen, but
there's a lot of teams that could use a player like Rantanen and are willing to give up a lot for a player like Rantanen.
That is true. All right, next player, Mitch Marner. Interesting one because I don't think he's going to move, but he has not signed a new contract with the Leafs yet, which has been a huge topic in Canadian and a lot of Toronto media.
It would be a smart thing to move him,
What?
but the Leafs will not move him.
I think the Leafs will end up re-signing him for a contract
But
that
it'd be
lets
pretty-
other players go.
I personally think it would be a smarter move to move him.
I agree. I don't think the Leafs will move him. I don't know. I think they'll find a way to re-sign him. Whether that means moving someone else, I don't know. But I don't think they will end up trading him. I think they will re-sign him.
Totally agreed.
All right, I got two more players I want to talk about. Starting off with Elias Pettersson, the forward.
I just brought him up like a second ago. So
Where do you think he's gonna go? Because I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna get traded. I don't think he has a chance of staying. I think he's gonna get traded.
yes, look at just don't mind the background noise or dad. My dad's doing the fire. Just try not to mind it the
Ignore
best you can.
all the noises.
Just try to ignore the best you can. We'll try to be a bit louder.
Yeah.
The PD might move.
I think he'll move.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be something good, but I think he'll move. He will
Depends what
move.
the
I believe.
Canucks want to get out of it.
Yeah. I guess it'll come down to what they can get.
Yeah.
Because if it's not worth anything, then they'll keep him. But I think they should trade him.
Also, just quickly on that topic, knowing the Canucks will of course leave, he'll become an absolute superstar.
Call it. All right, last player, big one. So many rumors. Braden Shen.
There's a very, very likely chance he's gonna move, and
I think he will.
I think it'll be a smart move for them to move him. I don't think it's worth keeping him.
I think if the Blues want to make a push, trade Shen and pick up an effective, younger piece to their core.
Because right now Robert Thomas is just basically carrying them.
And Kyrou, I guess. But,
yeah.
they're a good team. And I'm not saying Shen's a bad player who's changing that. But I do believe
Yeah.
getting rid of Shen is a very high possibility.
And they can
I've heard a lot of rumors saying he'll go to Toronto.
I have to.
But I don't think they will. I don't think
If you trade a guy
Toronto
like-
can pull that
If
off.
you trade a guy like Shen, you can get a good key piece out of him that'll really help you push for the playoffs, and I think that's exactly what the Blues need to do.
Alrighty. Tell us if we missed anyone you want to hear our thoughts about. Drop them in the comments below. Also, have a great day, and we will see you next time on episode 30.
Go.